Hello Libra, welcome to your reading. My name is Maria. This is a timeless tarot story for you if you're Libra Sun, Moon, Rising, Mars, Venus, Stellium or Cross Watcher. And I think we're just going to jump right into it because we have kind of a great story for you on the table that's really coming out as a message from Spirit. Spirit would like to send you a message, and the message that Spirit would like to bring is to tell you what is going on, which I think is like the greatest message ever, because who wouldn't want Spirit to show up and tell us what in God's name is going on? Spirit does that for you. And this is a story about a process that you have either been in, are in, or about to move into. And it kind of shows up as, if you've read about this theory that life falls into 7-year periods. And so it does seem a little bit like this is talking about a 7-year period in your life. And so from that even, you'll know whether you're in the middle of the process or the beginning or the end. And we start out today with the duck spirit, with this beautiful animal that comes out as you. This is from the Cosmic Creatures deck. And the duck is kind of like an underrated super animal. The duck walks, runs, flies, floats, dives, swims. This animal does almost everything, and we kind of don't really think about how amazing it is. It is a stunning animal, but it just kind of flies a little under the radar. We don't really notice the duck, and that's kind of how you come out at the beginning of this process, and that is going to change majorly. So you're like this sort of an underrated genius, or you're doing something really stunning, really amazing that not a lot of people could do, but somehow you're being very humble about it, or it's not really getting the accolades that it should have. That's gonna change. Now, the thing that has to change, or that had to change in order for you to move into another space, has a lot to do with your mind. So Spirit has been wanting to bring your attention to some things that are going on in your mind, because they are on a quantum level, hindering some of your progress or hindering some of your success. So too much has been going on the inside, and something else would really like to emerge. A wise part of you that is much more peaceful, and that is a potential that you have, that is within your reach, or was within your reach, and you've been coming to it. And these two cards are from the Osho Zen Tarot deck. This card, this Innocence card, it comes out to me as almost like the optimal human being, like a real Zen master, somebody who has gone through so much that they have reached a childlike peace, innocence, but with a lot of wisdom, and it's really in many ways the polar opposite of this stressful mind thing. This could have been a lot of doubts and fears, anxiety, could have been stress, old trauma, maybe a lot of trauma loops, things that kept running in your head, OCD. Of course, you'll know what things have been driving you crazy in your mind. We all have something. You might have had a lot for a period of time, and the universe has been moving you into this, has been detoxing you, and you've been detoxing yourself, and the whole process is then bringing you in to this amazingness. This is from the Muse tarot deck, the High Priestess, and this is just a card of real leadership, competence, authority, spiritual power, and maybe you can see how much sense it makes that this little duck would turn out to become this high priestess. And actually the duck had all of the elements. It kind of had this moon, but it was somehow rearranged in a dysfunctional way. You've been having all of the parts, but some things were kind of put in the wrong places and you were not aware. And through the process that's on the table here and that you went through or are going through, it was rearranged into the right, most powerful order. These things inside of you are in your life, and you emerge as this just incredibly powerful creature. And nobody underrates this one. Absolutely nobody. This one could have been completely perfect at what they were doing, incredibly competent, very masterful, and it might not have been completely noticed. This one, everybody notices. Everybody sees the power and the authority and the mastery. It's not up for debate. It's just completely clear, and it's acknowledged by all. So that is what is going on or has been going on, and here's how it's playing out. The universe has been working or is working on two parts of you especially, your mind and your heart. Now, your mind, you come out as the pig spirit, which is one of the most intelligent animals in the animal kingdom. And I think that your intelligence has been, in some ways, maybe, well, I hate to say a hindrance, but because that's probably not exactly how it played out, but it might not have been come all the way easy. You have a brilliant mind, and it might have been, you might have had a lot of situations where you were the smartest person in the room, and that might have either freaked you out or frustrated you, or you might not have known, and that would have been incredibly confusing. And so your mind has been kind of spinning in circles or going into states of stress, control, frustration, and this could have, of course, a variety of things could have provoked that. It could have been the way you were living your life, or old traumas, or childhood trauma you were carrying could have been a part of this. Somebody who had been maybe gaslighting you earlier and telling you you were seeing things wrong, you were not that smart, but actually you are. And so, of course, all of that would create a lot of anxiety and unclarity. And so you've been mentally really stressed out, at least for a while. And you and or the universe brings you into a state of contemplation, solitude. This might have been, you might have sought this out, or the universe shut a lot of doors and forced you into this state to detox all of that, to detox it, so that you could come into a state of being you and of being at peace and of finding the light within, being a light unto yourself. And this could have been a longer or shorter process, and it could have been, might not have been easy, probably not, but it could have been varying degrees of difficult. But of course, if we're talking about a detoxing from stress, anxiety, control, all of that inside of your head, these things have a way of aggravating when we really sit down and have some time with ourselves. So either way, you must have gone through kind of a difficult, at least beginning portal. You could have also started to meditate. And that probably started out as a difficult journey, but it got better and things started shifting, and the dawn the dawn broke. So some great things have been happening in your mind that were really healthy for you, although might have been quite challenging. And you then come out also with this as your heart. The praying mantis comes out as your heart. It's a very beautiful image, kind of innocent. And what I find amazing, but this is one of the great things about the cards and in this reading, is that here you are in your best self, having direct communion with your heart. And that shows up as the thing that's gonna bring you into your best self. So your heart might have been a little bit foreign to you. You might not really have known your own heart. You might not have spoken to it directly or really gotten to know it, because you might have been a lot in this energy. And not being that much in communion with your own heart would also explain a lot of the confusion, because when we're only in our mind, that's in a very, very, very confusing place to be. The heart has another kind of clarity, and you might not have known that. You might not really have been able to talk to it directly or commune with it directly. Nevertheless, some parts of you were very interested in matters of the heart. You come out with the dream and the fool, and they're telling me about some sort of a tendency to dream long, pine, maybe be a little unrealistic, maybe be a romantic idealist that's not really, you might have been also have had some fear of commitment, but still a lot of longing towards it. And it does come out a little bit as love addiction or limerence. If you don't know what limerence is, and you might think you have it, it's a little bit like love addiction. It is kind of a love addiction. Look it up. It's a very important concept. But it's about kind of losing yourself in a dream about the one and only. You could have been like on a botched twin flame journey or several, or that's what you felt like it was. But either way, you somehow, some part of you has been spending a lot of time drifting away into dreams about things that never really manifested, and that were actually, as it turns out, not something that your actual heart wanted. It was something else. It was like an idea you got, or a slight addiction, maybe bad addiction you developed, some way of maybe being not very grounded in your own reality and kind of dreaming about this thing that would turn up and make everything all right. And that also comes out with the Fool, which doesn't look like a very safe or positive card to me in this reading. It could come out even being a little bit of a love fool, but also this one looks like it is actually taking a step into nothingness and might very well fall out over the precipice. So you might have, because of maybe your this romantic side of you, you might have been dreaming some dreams that made you step a little too willingly into some situations, or a little too naively maybe into some situations that could have had you falling all the way down a precipice, or that were not really safe for you. So this also comes out as innocence, but not as a wise innocence, more as a little bit of a naive, non-grounded. You might have only done this once. I'm not saying it was necessarily a pattern, but it could have been. And this whole process that's happening, the things that the universe are putting you through, or the things that are happening with you or have been happening, is actually really about you coming into quite another heart space, another way of being with your heart that is way more powerful, that is very, very truthful, that has to do with your actual heart and not just some dreams that have to do with maybe trying to pull yourself a little bit out of your reality. Your heart is actually awakening in your life, inside of you, like really awakening. And it might have come like an actual spiritual awakening. It could have happened quite quickly or suddenly, but it could have also, maybe this being inside of your own light, taking a little more time to yourself, trying to actually detox and find yourself, awoke your heart. And if you can see, these two kind of mirror each other with the breaking dawn, the light emerging, you find something that is much more truthful and much more that comes from the inside, that's not about the outside and what other people are telling you or what you think you should be doing, all of that. This is something that's very truthful, very soulful, that is awakening in you. So just the power from this alone is so incredible. It's just your heart chakra activating, your second chakra, house of the soul, is awakening and kind of coming out with this octopusy sort of just mysterious, great sort of awakening. And it's very powerful, it's very embodied. And this is the new you that the universe is trying to make emerge, or that has been emerging through the process that you've been in. And these two awakenings of you starting to be your own light from your mind, and your heart sort of opening, you actually hearing it, is also creating quite another state than this one, where you were longing for something that was maybe always a little bit pie in the sky, that might have not have been reciprocal. Here, your heart is just open and the light is shining, and all of the little fishes are finding you. Like, this is just, it's so powerful. It's emanating, and it's by itself. It's just drawing in energies from outside. So this process is, or has been, changing the way you navigate in the world, because you used to be the bee spirit, the bee. This bee is this is a worker bee. This is a bee that's flying from flower to flower and pollinating and sucking out the nectar, and is coming out as a very active little bee that's doing its work every day, and flying around to all the flowers, and you might have been very socially active, or you might have been, it comes out as socially active. That's I'm gonna stick with that one. So could have been dating. Might have been dating a lot, trying to this, that, really, running around trying to see all the different flowers, and it had you quite exhausted. Like, you really wore yourself out in that process. It wasn't really nurturing. It's been a little too much, and it's been draining your energy, basically. It really has. So in this process where you start to navigate in a different way, because you have been changing on the inside, you suddenly emerge as something else. You emerge as an energy that moves still with a lot of momentum, but slower, wiser, more deliberately. You come out as the knight of materials. And also, flowers, to me, they always they're a symbol for accolades, compliments, you know, success, the how people acknowledge us and the love they give us and all of this. And this one is just given flowers. Flowers follows it around. This one is not flying from flower to flower and trying to say hello to all of them and pollinate them. This one is given flowers. Following it around, and it fits very well with this overall message of you being suddenly very seen and very acknowledged, and not just going about some small dog life being a superstar without anybody noticing it. But you're also becoming more deliberate. You're not going to all of the flowers. First of all, a lot of the flowers are coming to you, but you're not running around exhausting yourself in the same way anymore. And you also change from having been in a state that this has to do not so much with your social life or your dating life, but more it has to do with your purpose / your work, how you've been going about filling your purpose. You've been it's kind of like a little bit like the bee. They look a little bit alike, just in the colors and all of that. You've been very diligent. You've been working. You've been hardworking. You've been biting, building, doing. Yeah, you've been working hard, and of course you would. You're Libra. You have great work ethics. You being a cardinal sign and all, and you've been doing that. But you have been. This is clarified by the schizophrenia card, which I'm not at all saying that you have been. This speaks to me about you having been, your progress having been slowed down because some things were not united inside of you that needed to be united for you to move forward with a lot of momentum. So you might have been working like crazy and you haven't really gotten the results that you thought you would, considering how much you've been working and what you've been putting into it. Your progress might have been kind of weirdly slow, or you might, anyways. But this is explaining it. This is about, this actually speaks to what my problem with the law of attraction and this whole culture we have, just visualize something and then it will arise, is that yes, if all of the layers of our consciousness and unconsciousness are all aligned, then yes, we can manifest something. But you can want something in one layer of your consciousness and then fear it frantically in a part of your unconsciousness, so that one will not cooperate, so then you will not be aligned all the way down, and then there will be this kind of like yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, or I want it, I don't want it, I want it but I don't want it, kind of energy inside of you. And of course you cannot just manifest from that, and you cannot just say I'm going to visualize 20 minutes a day and then it will manifest if something deep seated inside of you has fear or is not connected to that wish, right? And I feel like that has been going on. Something has not been connected, and so you've not been able to move forward with full force because it hasn't aligned all the way down. And I believe that to have something to do with probably maybe your connection to your heart, or just having too much on your plate. You've been needed to detox from all of this. Because also from a subconscious point of view, if you're like trying to manifest a lot of things, but you're actually already almost at your breaking point out of stress of how much you already have on your plate, some part of your unconscious is gonna push on the brakes and go, no, absolutely not. We will, this whole thing will collapse if we put more on our plate. So you've been detoxing, you've been cleaning up inside of you and maybe outside of you, and you've been getting to know yourself and your heart, and now suddenly alignment, right? The breaking dawn in both of them. And then speed and momentum, like movement. You move forward and you hit the ground running. And not only do you hit the ground running, you come from like a really quantum frequency that is aligning you with your goals. And you might also have been very consciously reaching some unity inside of yourself where you actually know what you want. You might have not been completely clear about what you wanted before. Now you know, and you have some things that you want from all of you, like all of your chakras aligned, your subconscious, your conscious, all of it. You know some things that you do want, and it's just such a powerful energy. It's moving you forward with incredible power and momentum. And not only is it doing that, it's really supported by the energies, because here you were maybe a little bit alone, or at least feeling alone, and knowing, doing. But here the energies themselves are kind of drilling the way in front of you already. Like your energy precedes you, and it drills a hole in reality, and it's already moving forward. So you're not having to do all this hard work, pushing. You're just moving with clear and absolute momentum into maybe the next 7 years of your life, which you're gonna manifest something really great. And so in many ways, this reading is about you balancing some energies inside of you and cleaning up and detoxing, and reaching this incredible potential that you have for just real power and leadership, authority, magic, and you're very, very supported in that. And that was what the universe wanted to do with you. And this was what has been happening, what is happening. And that's what Spirit wanted you to know. So this was your reading, Libra. Very uplifting. I'm so happy for you. And so I hope you enjoyed it. If you got something out of it, please like, subscribe, share, comment. It helps my channel a lot. So that would be much appreciated. And I'll see you next time. Bye.